first thing I want to know, man, who is Ira Span, the person?
Okay. Well, Ira Span, there's a lot of levels to Ira Span. I mean, Speez, the rapper, is a little bit more simpler. But Ira Span is a computer geek. I love computers and I love gaming. I love basketball. I love my family. I love God first and foremost before all of that. But I'm just a family man that, came up from Chicago and have seen both sides of the good parts of life, meaning times where you have everything in your hands until the bad parts of life when you have nothing. So really complex individual. I like to label myself as an introvert. You run into people who say you shouldn't label yourself as an introvert, but if I had to analyze myself and say, hey, do you want to talk to people or do you not want to talk to people? I don't want to talk to everybody. I like to talk to certain people, such as yourself, James.
Right back in my zone. Used to walk around like I can't do no wrong. Thought you didn't care, but you was there.
In our journey in life, we have certain people that we click with, and we have certain people that we don't click with. I mean, it's kind of natural that we do, but in my life, I find it very rare to click with certain people, because I think I'm just a different individual. And I think that sometimes people fit in this mold to fit in, where I am a rebel. I won't fit in the mold. I won't conform. I am comfortable in my skin. I am who I am. And I feel like that's the journey that God wants me to walk out, is just be who you are. Don't be afraid to be yourself. And that's why even in my music, people said that I started as a rapper, and people said, the kind of the crooning, they call it, but the sing melodic rap, don't do that, because your pocket is the bars, similes, metaphors, like just a kind of East Coast rap per se, because that's the genre I kind of grew up in. But I'm like, no, if I want to sing, I'm gonna make this computer make me sound good when I sing, and as you practice, you get better at singing too when you do that. But I'm just me, so.
Care, but you was there all along. Could've shut me down right in my ignorance.
You did some of the producing with the music, not just rap on it, but you actually did the producing of the music, correct? For all your
Yes,
albums?
sir. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what's that journey like? How did it all start for you?
Well, I started off rapping. I mean, growing up on the south side of Chicago, that's what you want to do, man. You grew up in the era of Jordan, so is you want to play basketball or you want to rap. I mean, you go to school and people are like, you see this, you see that, you heard this song, you heard that song. Your brothers, your peers, your cousins, your father, they're exposing you to this, and then you see on TV all of the things that it brings. So you want to be a rapper growing up in those. You have no, and that's the sad thing in these environments, you have no exposure to anything else. You don't have any exposure to a doctor or engineer, or even in my field, you really don't have any exposure. So these things, that's what you pretty much kind of cling to. So and my grandfather, who has a rich history in music, his name is Purvis Span. He was a famous blues promoter. He was a disc jockey at a radio station called WVON. It's based out of Chicago, still active in Chicago as well. But I remember growing up and being around music, being around musicians, running through the halls of the radio station, and even getting older, helping my grandfather, screening calls, handing them 8-track CDs, records.
8 tracks.
Yeah, man.
Taking it way back, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I've always been exposed to music. So that's one of the things that that is therapeutic to me still to this day.
Trying to move at God's speed, that's strategic, yeah. Be a blessing to this earth before I leave it, that's my thesis, yeah.
I want to go into a little bit of your music, man. I want to ask you, I have pulled some tracks, some titles of tracks actually, and I want you to tell me what was your thought process, or why did you write it, that particular song.
Okay.
So we're going to start with the first album. First album is Let Me Introduce Myself. Control.
So Control, man, is to me, Control is just it was a time, certain songs that you write in a certain time when things are happening. And with that track, I was trying to reach out to the listener to get them to feel that this world is really cold. This is really a cold world, man, and you honestly do need God to track you through it, because like I said, growing up in Chicago, it got a solid foundation of how rough it can be, and so I like to include those memories. And it was kind of like I wasn't like a thug or anything like that, but I had exposure to it, so I can speak on it. Brothers, older brothers being in trouble, cousins being in this kind of trouble, seeing next door neighbors being in crazy situations, right. And you just see it, you remember it, it's etched in your mind. And Control, what I was trying to do is just etch out how cold the world can be. Just write it as good as I could at that time.
One of my favorite songs on that album is R.I.P. to the Old Me. Explain.
Well, when you come to Christ, you become a new person, and the old things fade away.
What were some of those old things that you changed from?
Cussing, being extremely prideful, looking at life in certain aspects, learning to try to love people. That's something I'm still struggling with. It's just having a rough, and it stems from just having a rough past dealing with people in general.
Yeah.
So learning to love people. Growing up, you develop this is better you than me attitude. I remember driving by and somebody pulled over on the side of the road, probably from speeding, and I speed past, just thinking better you than me. So better you than me. So those are some of the things, and I'm still working on it. You have to understand that this walk you're carrying a cross, man. Those things still pop up. Not being able to trust. Those are some of the things that slowly dying, but most are dead, but some you still working on.
So, what would you tell your young self today?
Sheesh. My young self today, man. I would first and foremost, man, tell them to focus on the things of God that would please Him. Stop chasing the fast life. I'm grateful for God that He kind of pulled me out of that, but I was chasing so hard after that life, man, to the point where it didn't almost destroy me, but if you can look at the trajectory of some of the things that I was exposed to and some of the things I was around, it could have destroyed me. So just focus on the things of God.
Well, I hope you guys were encouraged, inspired, or motivated by something that was said in this interview with Christian recording artist Speez. He has definitely been a blessing to me, and I pray and hope that he is a blessing to you. And remember, you can get an extended version, the full interview, by going to the podcast location, wherever you get your podcast. That could be Spotify, Apple Play, it doesn't matter. Wherever you get your podcast, type in the Journey with James podcast, and you can get the full interview for season 3 of the Journey with James. Okay, Journey with James podcast. So thank you guys for watching today. I pray that you guys have a great day, and I do want to say this here. You know, Speez mentioned that he has a new album coming out. Well, I got a chance to listen to it. He gave me a sneak preview, and I'm gonna tell you, it is fire. It's called Godspeed 2, and it's coming to a streaming network near you, so stay tuned for that. And also, you can get his other streaming music anytime. He has 3 albums. You can get it anytime by going to your favorite streaming network and typing in some of his albums that he mentioned, okay? God bless you guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you again on the next edition of the Journey with James Talk Show.